y'all. Welcome back to Her Story. We got some special guests with us today. We got, of course, DJ and Dakota, but then, what's your name again?
BC.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, so Pastor Carter's with us today. You're going to be Bryan today. You can't be Pastor Carter today. You want to be Bryan?
I don't care.
You BC today?
It doesn't matter.
You taking it back to your Oklahoma State days?
It don't matter.
Okay, all
I'm
right.
here. I'm
We're going to take it back to Oklahoma State days.
Oh, okay, all right.
I'm excited to be here with you ladies.
Okay, so listen, we are super excited to have you. Welcome. This is your first time here, Jen.
How about that? Thank you for
First time
having me.
in
You know, you should feel
I'm
privileged.
glad I made the cut.
You made the cut. You made the cut. So I'm gonna let the ladies start us off with their questions.
Yes.
So who got it? Who has the first question?
It's me this time. It's
Okay.
me. Okay, so PC, I have to ask because this came up in a previous episode. Are you an introvert or an extrovert?
I think I lean more to introvert, but I still love people. I love hanging out, but I think naturally, like, because of my role,
Yes.
I've got to kind of move a little bit, but I'm an introvert. I want to get back. Now, she will be the last one to leave. She loves hanging. So it really is a good balance. Like, I'm the quiet, shy guy. She's all the way out there.
I don't know, but sometimes we can switch. Because like yesterday we were at something and I was like, let's go. He's like, no, we need to stay a little bit, talk a little bit. I was like, all right.
Because I love people. Because of my role, I love people.
Yeah.
I love hanging. Even when I was choosing my careers, I could have chose something that would be more kind of internal, but I wanted something with people. So that's just, but it's like, I don't take so much that I'm good. I'm like, okay, I'll see y'all a little later.
Yes, I feel that. I personally feel that.
She really do.
No, for real. Like, for real. It's funny because DJ and I, within our friend group, we have this expression where we'll be like, hey, my social meter's low. And we know that means, okay, see y'all. Y'all get home safe? Okay, gotta go.
Yeah.
So,
Look, I was here for an hour. I ate.
I showed up.
Okay, all right.
I gotta recharge.
Look, take a couple pictures so y'all know I was here. Okay. And then I'm on my way out. Good. Okay, we got another introvert in the room.
That's
I
right.
needed that. I needed that. So when you are, and in your role, you do have to interact with people quite a bit. And so how do you kind of navigate those relationships with people that have a different connection style than you do?
For a couple ways. So one, on my team, like because of me being more introverted, I'm going to balance my team out, right? So we can have a balance on my team, right? And so I've learned it over time, right? When I build a team, I want to build a balanced team with a variety of approaches that are there. At the same time, same thing with my role. What I try to do, I try to be very intentional about trying to spend time, be available as much as I can. Although I know I'm going to recharge kind of quality in my own time. So it's a tough balance, and I try to have boundaries to try to get me there, right? But over time, I've learned how to do the best I can with it. And then sometimes, I've even had to learn socially how to have good conversations, how to connect with people. I've had to work to figure out that. So that I can, because some people do it naturally. Like, they are natural conversationalists. They can go all day, every day. And I admire and respect those people. Because I'm internal and I'm always thinking about what's next or thinking about that part, I'm not doing that. So I have to actually tell myself, these are great ways. And I've learned how to really work through that process. So it's just been a school. One of my members gave me a great book, Quiet. And it was all about how people that are maybe introverted or quiet, how they process, how they win, how they succeed, how they navigate the world in their own ways. And so I think the more I've learned to embrace who I am, embrace how I'm wired, embrace how I do life, how God has created me, the more joy I can find, as opposed to trying to be something that I'm not.
Yeah. I need to read that book.
It's a great book. It's long, but it's a great book. Yeah.
But that's really insightful, Bryan, because so often we'll be like, well, this is how I am, this is my personality, and they just need to accept me for who I am. But I think it's a good learning lesson to realize that sometimes you got to switch it up. Yeah. So I can be like, you have to kind of read the room. So like, I'm an extrovert, so I can be all this, but sometimes I might be in a room full of introverts. And so instead of being like, y'all gonna come join my spirit and my energy, I have to be more of like, this is a quiet space. This is quiet time. So we might not want to talk about this. and let me just kind of sit back. And I think that's one important lesson that a lot of us can learn. Like, even like, I feel like I'm still learning that, where I'll be like, let me read this one real quick. Might not be a good time to talk about. So good. That's very.
Yeah, you have to figure it out. I mean, I think particularly, you take these assessments, right? Myers-Briggs, all these kind of strength finders, all these kind of assessments to figure out who you are. I think it's incredibly important that you find out who you are so you can embrace that. It doesn't mean it doesn't change for different seasons, because it may, but I think the more you know who you are and the more comfortable you are in that, the more joy you find in life, the more impactful you can be in ministry, the more you can learn and grow and build on your strengths and your opportunities. All those things work together. And I think that's been a journey for me, figuring those things out and then managing through them. It doesn't mean it's always easy, right? You do have those tensions that you come up against, but it does help you to better fulfill your purpose and the calling on your life.
That's good.
Yeah.
Let's throw it back to OSU real quick. Have y'all always been this way? Like, kind of like personality, how y'all connect with people before y'all jumped out into the world and became adults?
I think so. Yeah. I don't think a lot has changed. I think, of course, the environment we're in, but I think if you took her back to Oklahoma, OU, or took me back to Oklahoma State and put us on our campuses, you would find her doing her thing with her friends and involved and as a leader. You'd find me in my spot doing a similar thing. And I think that's what kind of attracted us to each other. But I don't know, you have to ask my friends, but I feel like there's some elements. I know I've matured a lot, some, but in some elements, I feel like I'm the same old dude. I don't think I've changed a whole lot.
I think the cool thing in the season that we're in, he turns 50 this year. I've already turned 50, is we still are connected to our college friends, like our core group of friends. And I love that. Even though I don't see them all the time, it's like when I do see them, we pick up right where we left off.
Yeah.
And I think one thing that is important, like, I don't think we were using words back then like extrovert or introvert. And so I never would have thought you were an introvert in college.
Well, in college, it felt like I was. I took the assessment. The assessment said I was. So that's what it said I was. I was an ENFJ on the Myers-Briggs. And so I felt like it's
percentage PC.
I don't know. I feel like I was in the middle, but I felt like in college, I don't know. I felt like as a leader, because I've always had a passion for leading and teaching. I feel like I had to, if you're going to organize anything and win people over and motivate people, you got to be somewhat of you got to at least have it in you where you can get there and say, hey, y'all, this is what we're going to do. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
So I feel like it's always been something I've managed through.
Like, if you'd have known him back in the Oklahoma State days in 1992, like, he was the president of everything. And so, like, from whether it was his fraternity, this, that, I
feel like, too, your personality, or your that part of your life, I think is still only a part of the vision or the mission that you have for your life, right? Like, if you feel like, let's say you're in sports or you want to do this in business, for me at that stage, I just wanted to make an impact, right? So it motivated me to get involved in our Black Student Association, to get involved in student government, to be an RA, to be in my fraternity. Like, it motivated me just to go and do stuff. So for me, it didn't really matter how that wiring was as much as it was, what we got to do. So I love hanging out. We go play ball. We do. I loved it. We had parties. Like, I wanted all of that. It wasn't nothing I said, you know what, I don't want to do that. Let me go back. Yeah. So I just think everybody, I think everybody has you have a certain wiring, but I think you find yourself and you find joy in the journey, as you adjust through it all.
Hey y'all, listen, Fearless Mom and Sisterhood, that's a wrap. We had such great sessions and great time with the ladies. I am so excited and thankful for just the investment that Tori Dixon and Elizabeth Woodson put into our women for this season at Concord.
One of my biggest callings, of course, has been a mom, and I want to make sure that I do things the right way for my children, leaving a legacy for them. So just this series has been empowering for me to make sure that I am intentional about the upbringing for my kids.
As a mom with a teenage boy, I have learned so much, and I've incorporated that at my house. For example, just allowing myself to drive my feelings and not my feelings to drive me. That's something that Tori talked about.
Fearless Moms has just been an amazing place where we've been able to pour into our mothers. And so listen, if you are a mom and you may have missed this round of Fearless Moms, I want you to keep your ear open. This is for you.
We had a room full of women for 6 weeks studying the Word of God. Nothing better than that. We talked about the book of Galatians. Big takeaway, you want to experience freedom in Christ? Walk by the Spirit, be obedient to the life God calls us to live, and the freedom and fullness we desire will come if we do that.
My group, yes, you see the sign up here, Living on Purpose. We have been together for 5+ years. We're no longer just friends, but we are truly sisters.
The biggest takeaway from the sisterhood has been the concept of needing to take inventory of your life in order to achieve the message that Galatians is trying to teach us, which is to live a free life.
Lady Carter is a phenomenal leader, and it really just shows her devotion, and I love the way that she shows up and is always, authentic and transparent every Saturday with us.
Now here comes your task. I need you to apply what you have learned in those classes. And then don't be a hoarder. Share that information with the sister next to you on your job, whoever you do life with, and we will see you in the fall.
I have certain people that definitely bring the extrovert out of me a little bit more than others. And then some people it's like, hey, but introvert doesn't have to mean antisocial. It's just when I need to recharge, a party of one.
And there's a scale. Like I know some people on our team, like Ben, I got another one, give them a friend Mike, like they way over here. Like they never meet a stranger. They go connect with everybody. I mean, there's some people and that's cool. So I think there's a scale to that too, right? And that's cool. So I admire and respect everybody that's along the spectrum.
Yeah.
But I think you said something real important. You surround yourself with people who are the complete opposite. So she brings the little extrovert out of you, but then she understands when you need to be like, all right, that's not too much. That's enough.
It's been real. It's been fun.
And that's good. I think everybody has to have that in their lives. I think you have to have the introverts in your life. You have to have the extroverts in your life to kind of like push you. Like even in work and so on. I think about Sharice, we work together, and Sharice is the complete opposite of me. She's calming. So like when I'm like, hey man, why is it not starting on time? What's this? What's that? She's more like, yes, now this is what's happening. Yes, I have taken care of this. And I think you have to have that. And I think you have to recognize that. I think with anything in your life, when you're walking through life, whatever your weaknesses are, you surround people who have those strengths. So that can strengthen you, that can better you, and that you can also learn from them and so on. Because sometimes you can be like, no, I don't want to identify what my weaknesses are. No, I need, whatever my weaknesses are, I need to surround myself with people who have those strengths.
Yeah. And definitely communicating and just kind of, like I said, with the whole social media thing with us, I think when it started out, it started to look like I was a little antisocial. Just like, she okay? She just gets real quiet and starts to sit back. DJ knows if I hit the lean, it's time to go. It's time to go.
Wrap it up.
Wrap it all up.
I love it.
Just communicating those needs. And I think that's a big part of relationships as well, is just no one knows what's in your head, right? And so you can't make those assumptions that someone should just know because it makes sense to you. And I think that's something that even just in our friendship that we've learned a lot, is that you have to manage those expectations so that you don't feel like, oh, this person just doesn't get me. It's like maybe they don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. And thinking of, based on what you just said, Dakota, like surrounding yourself with certain people intentionally, how do you, like all the relationships that exist in your life right now, not just your marriage, but friendships, family relationships, how do you like intentionally love others, like in a way that speaks to them? So that kind of like segues into love languages a little bit, but just, in a natural conversation, how do you intentionally love others?
You want to do that one first?
Sure. I think I try to connect with a variety of people, right? I whether it's in ministry or whether in the life of our church, I just try to connect with a variety of people, and I see value in them, right? Across the spectrum of age or marital status. I just find a lot of joy in that. I think it's the coolest thing, right? To be at our church where we can connect with so many different people. And I enjoy it. If I can make time. One of the things I used to do early on during my sermon series, I would do focus groups. And what I would do is invite a cross spectrum of the church to come in, and I would share with them what I'm going to talk about. And they would just help me think through it, process it from all these different angles. Yeah. So I used to love that, right? And even and so that allowed me to connect with a variety of people. And so for me, even in our friendships, right, we've got friendships with different people, and they're across it, right? As long as we have a common interest and we have a common connection and we have a trust foundation, it doesn't make a difference kind of really how they show up or what it is, man. We're able, I feel comfortable, able to connect with them. And so, and even with my pastor friends, same thing. I got pastor friends all over the spectrum, but as long as there is this connection, that we identify that we're walking in the same struggle and walking through the same space, I think it's fun to connect with a variety of people around the spectrum. I think you learn. I think you grow. I think it expands your mind. I think it challenges your thoughts and how you're thinking. Sometimes people will look at it like, how does that go together? And I'm like, listen, I think you need range in life, right? Yeah. I don't think you need to be stuck in a circle or in a certain space. I think everybody needs range. I think it helps you to be a better Christian, a better person. And so that's just how I view it.
And then I think anytime with relationships, whether it's family, whether it's friends, whether it's coworkers, setting boundaries and having realistic expectations for each other. So I think when I think about my friend group, we're able to function because, one, they kind of know we each respect each other's lives. Like my friends know, if you're friends with me, I'm not going to talk to you every day. I'm not that friend because I'm busy. And I might not text. I might be on that group text. We might be on group text or this, that. It might take a minute for me to respond, but I'm going to respond. But they know me. And then, like, even with family, my family's like real close. We do a lot of things together. And like he'll be like, y'all have made up holidays and made up outfits and this, that. And so on. But they know now, like, maybe if I do not come, it's just because it's a conflict. It's not because I didn't want to. It's just a conflict, and there's no judgment. But it's just having those conversations with friends just to make sure you have realistic expectations of each other. Like, I have one friend, I said something to her, like, hey, have you talked to so-and-so? She's like, I had to stop talking to them because they expect me to talk to them every day. Every day? I'm not going to talk to you every day. And I was like, see, that's why we work. Because
we got to understand.
We got to understand. And then when we do get together, it's like we pick up where we left off.
Yeah. So that's true friendship right there. Yeah. I love that.
It is.
I think the last thing I really just want to understand, and I think seeing friendships have changed the most probably in this 20s season is, we're ready for 30.
Keep on changing, girl.
Yeah. How do you go about, as you talked about, kind of managing your expectations, right? Being realistic and understanding that all your friends are all in different seasons, different places in their lives. How do you kind of manage those expectations, but at the same time, you don't find yourself where you're going and you're now trying to make peace with not having your needs met? What's kind of like that happy medium of being understanding, but then knowing when, hey, we might need to have a conversation. I feel like I'm missing something I need.
You know what? I'll use my core college friends. I've known them like the longest. We all got together. We all got together for my birthday weekend, and they came to celebrate, and it was super, super great. And I remember there was kind of like a conflict with one of my friends, another friend, and I remember watching them break that down in that conversation. But then also, I remember I kind of leaned in and I said, hey, I said, y'all, I said, do you know how much she cares for you? She talks to you every day. I said, she's that friend. I said, well, I'm going to talk to you when? And she's like, exactly. So, but just kind of bridging that and recognizing what the friendship is. Yeah. Because of just the seasons. Your friendship is going to be like with anything, whether it's marriage, whether it's a boyfriend, whether it's siblings. you know, even with your parents, it goes through seasons. It's kind of like a roller coaster. You have your ups and you have your downs, and being flexible enough to know that it's not going to be like it was in 1992 when we were at the University of Oklahoma, and just we could see each other every day and this, that. Now we have families, or we have new jobs, or, you know, you just got this new management job, and recognizing like, hey, I'm in this season. And you're in this season. Like when my kids were like really small, like we knew like, man, she's not gonna come. Like I remember, I'll give this prime example, y'all. We would get together like once a year and we go somewhere like as a girls trip, right? And so we were in Jamaica, and it was like, anytime I'm away from like my family, I sleep. And so my friends were like, why are you still in the bed? And I kept feeling like, y'all, you just don't know. And I just had to break that down. And so they were like, you know, we only see each other, but the fact that you're just in the bed for the next 2 days and you don't want to get up and you don't want to do anything. So then I said, okay, I will compromise. I will come a day early before everybody else gets here. So then I can get all my laying in the bed, all my TV watching out. So then I can be ready to turn up with y'all.
That's fair.
You had to recharge.
I had to recharge because I'd be like a little bit like you. I'd be like, all right, okay, how long we gonna be here?
Extroverts recharge too.
And listen, I had to learn that. Yeah, that's a good
that was my compromise with them. Yeah.
That's good.
Well, you know, let me see. So I think let me see. So I think that you need the friends, but I think you have to really figure out, like she mentioned, each season. I think you got to figure out, I mean, you only can handle so many friends.
Yeah.
There's a limit. They did some research, and there's only so many you can handle. You can have a lot of different contacts, right? But in terms of this inner circle, right, I think that inner circle you got to continue to connect with, right? I have an inner circle. I try to connect, you know, maybe once, twice a week, but I'm trying to, like that crew, I'm a ride out with, right? The other ones, I may not talk to them as frequently, but I know if I need them, I can go to them, right? And so for me, based on how I'm working, I can't keep up with too many things at one time, right? Between my family and between my kids, like it ain't nothing left, at least in this season, right? But in my 20s, I remember moving to Dallas. I'm moving to the Dallas area and being so disconnected, right? My college friends, we all split up all over the city with some here. And I remember like, man, I got to rebuild. I got to make some new friends, right? And so that was, you know, I'm making new friends. I'm at work making a new friend. We became really close. I got another new friend at the church. I'm making new friends. And some of those friendships have held up over time. But it was just that process, right? That wherever you are, trying to build a relationship, trying to make those connections. And I've seen in each season of my life, God has sent me a set of friends that I've been able to connect with, some of those have lasted. Some of those were just for that season, right? You know what they say, some people come in your life for a season, for a reason, for a lifetime. And it's that kind of deal. So I've learned, one of my mentors said, particularly for men, right? Men, if you got 2 to 3 really close friends, you're doing really well. Right? That way you have a certain group. But yeah, that's what I found. I got my core group and I got the other group, right? Which is just as valuable, but we just may not talk all the time. We'll catch up when we go there, and that's good. Then I got my college crew. We do a golf trip a couple times a year. That's really cool. But even now we have a text thread, so that keeps us going. But it's just life is so busy. What's weird for us is that we were super connected when we were young in the 20s. We started having kids. They just absorbed you became all the time you had.
Like leeches.
And now we're reconnecting. Now we're reconnecting again, all over again. It's like, this is crazy. But it's just seasons. It's now we're going golf. Now we're doing stuff because we couldn't do it because our families were our focus in that season. So, but yeah, I mean, I think it is valuable. You got to know what you need. You want to be accessible for those that are near you. But yeah, I think friendship is about what you put into it, right? I mean, if you don't invest in it, I think it won't return the investment on you, right? I think you can be very lonely and isolated if you don't do the work on them and then be willing to make new ones. I remember another season we were in ministry, and it was just lonely in ministry because as a pastor, what happens is you don't know who you can trust. Some people take the stuff and they run with it. Everybody don't understand your role. I remember praying for some friends, right, in our 30s. And God answered in our 40s, and they've been riding with us for the last 10 years, 10, 15 years now. But it was that kind of point where I was like, man, I need some people, right?
Yeah.
And God sent them. So I think all of that is part of the friendship journey that we all find ourselves on.
And don't be afraid to pray for that.
That's right. That's
don't
real.
be afraid to pray for, who God is going to bring in your life, whether it's a friendship, whether it's, just anything. Praying for, like, God, please remove that person. Because sometimes we can be so dependent, like, just on everybody else, but our dependence really should be on God and so on. Like, I could tell my mom everything, or I could tell, like, especially when I first got married, I'd be telling, like, my best friends, my core crew, like, everything and this, that. And, that don't happen no more. And so on. So it has to be, definitely has to be a walk with God. It has to be a trust with God. It has to be a prayer with God on, giving me some really cool friends and removing some friends. Sometimes he'll remove family. No shade, but yeah. But if you're not adding value or whatever, sometimes it gets old. Somebody always pulling at you or telling you, like, what you're not going to do. I don't do well with friends like that. And we don't last friends at all. Yeah. So, but listen, y'all, we thank you for coming, man.
Thank you.
Thank y'all so much for y'all's questions and so on. It's just been such a cool journey to be on this girl chat with y'all. And
I made it.
You did. Only because they asked you. They're like, "Oh yeah, Pastor Bryan." I was like,
"Of course."
I don't know.
Before we cut, how can the people find you guys to hear more from both of you?
How can we connect with the Carters?
Go on, hit your little.
Oh, you can follow me at Mr. Bryan L. Carter, her at Miss Stephanie R. Carter, or you can follow us both at Made to Last Live. Made to Last, LIVE. Also, have a book, madetolast.org. Or .com, excuse me. You can pick up the latest book, Made to Last.
Isn't there something you can follow on YouTube or something? Hit that up.
Hit that up. You can also join us on YouTube at Made to Last Live as well, or on all your podcast platforms. Apple, you can join us there. Thank you so much.
That's why you need that extrovert in your life. Help
Listen,
with
you're
that.
supposed to go ahead and do it in there.
No.
In real time.
Yes. Hey, y'all. Thank y'all so much for joining us. We'll see you on the next episode of Her Story Girl Chat. See you soon.